I'm Matthew from Colorado. If you were able to go back in time and stop your parents from becoming a Jehovah's Witnesses, would you do that knowing that your entire life would be very different? Thank you.
It's an interesting question. I think he said my grandparents. Let me give you a little bit of a history of my family. My grandparents were actually not Jehovah's Witness. I don't know what they are now technically, but last I heard, which was a few years back, my grandmother is Lutheran, which is, I believe, from the Calvinist branch of Christianity, which typically believes in predestination. Everything is already predetermined before you're born, and your life is just playing out exactly as it was supposed to, exactly as God planned, beginning to end. My grandfather, on the other hand, was a Sunday school teacher for many, many years. Um, and when he and my grandmother had their first child, they named it after him. And the child died at 9 months old, I think, or somewhere in there. So basically, my uncle died at 9 months old of pneumonia complications. I could be getting that wrong. Anyways, my grandfather goes to the preacher over the church that he was teaching Sunday school at and said, "Why did God allow this to happen?" And the preacher said, "God needed another angel in heaven, so he took your son." And from that moment on, my grandfather says that he's an atheist. This was like in the 1950s, probably 1952. He said that he's been an atheist ever since then. He's also an extremist Republican and has been this whole time. He's a huge Trump supporter. Like, this is my mom's parents. Massive Trump supporter. And I don't really see how you can be a diehard Republican for 50, 60, 70 years of your life and not ultra religious, like super mega televangelist watching giga Christian. I don't know how those two things like work without each other. So, anyways, whatever. He says he's an atheist. He's an atheist. Those labels are self-assigned. My grandfather can say he's an atheist or he's a Christian or he can say he's a Muslim if he wants. It does not make any difference to me, and I have no place to tell him what he is or isn't. So, anyways, my grandfather is an atheist, and my grandmother is a Lutheran. When my mom was in her late teens or early 20s, I believe, she was in the Air Force, and she met my dad, I think in Texas. They ended up getting married, and they had a really rocky relationship because my dad was very abusive, extremely abusive to my mom, and then later on to us. So my mom ended up divorcing my dad after having two kids with him, which is my older brother and my older sister. And then after they got divorced, my mom started talking to Jehovah's Witnesses, started studying the Bible with them, blah, blah, blah. And my dad, all the while, has been trying to get back with my mom, trying to remarry her, get in her good graces and all that shit. So my mom said to my dad, this is coming from her mouth. She told me this. My mother told me this. She said, she told my dad, if you don't study to be a Jehovah's Witness with me and get baptized with me, you will never see the kids again. If you do study to become a Jehovah's Witness with me, then we will get remarried. That's what she said to him. Her words, not his words. So I have no reason to question or dispute that. So my dad ended up joining Jehovah's Witnesses with her. They both got baptized. They both got married again. And then they had my older brother and me. Total of 4 of us. So the question was, would I rather my parents, I guess, have not joined Jehovah's Witnesses? Would that be a better situation for me? I don't know. I don't think so. My parents weren't really great people. So either way, I would kind of be fucked. I would probably currently be below the poverty line still if I hadn't harnessed this ex-Jehovah's Witness stuff in my life. I lived in poverty for the majority of my adult life until I started YouTube just a few years ago. And now I'm not below the poverty line. The Jehovah's Witness situation in my life has altered my life's path permanently and altered my personality permanently. I have no way of knowing who I would be without Jehovah's Witnesses. So it affected me very negatively, but it gave me an opportunity to help other people who are experiencing the same thing, if only by just talking about my own experiences. I mean, that seems to have helped people in itself, just by talking about it and showing them that I experienced the exact same thing and that it wasn't okay. So the question is, would I rather have not been born Jehovah's Witness? I think being born Jehovah's Witness gave me insight into it in such a way that it enabled me to fight the organization with a real cause and real experience behind me. So I think I would still be a Jehovah's Witness because I feel like I've managed to help a lot of people come out of it as a result of my bad experiences. I will take one for the team. It seems like it was worth it.